Hello, and welcome to the first instalment of my series, 12 Games in 12 Months, where I try to create 12 games in 1 year. January's game is Bubble and Peak. So, there are 101 ways to start the process of making a game. You can create an interesting gameplay loop and explore where it can go. You can find another game you want to change a certain way, so you flip-flop it until you've turned it into a totally original game. The way I tackle game design? I think of something that interests me, and how I could turn that into a game. As a vegetarian, I spend a lot of time thinking about food. Every week I'm finding out about something that I've been having for years, and then it turns out I can't eat it anymore.
I eat honey, but
honey isn't vegan.
Sour Patch Kids.
Okay, those aren't vegan.
I go to Taco Bell all the time.
Don't they use
playing some
eggs in
games.
their wraps?
I hope they don't.
Yeah,
But
I hope they don't either, because then that wouldn't be vegan.
So the theme of food was an easy one, and off of the back of all those
beautifully browned caramelized underbellies.
At Christmas, I quickly decided the game would be centered around Bubble and Squeak. Bubble and Squeak is all about taking leftovers and shoving them in a frying pan, because the only thing more delicious than leftovers is all of the leftovers. So how do we turn this into a game? I figured the best way was to put food on cards and combine them to make the best Bubble and Squeak. So from this you have two angles. Competitive, who has the best dish? Or cooperative, let's make the best dish. I thought about cards having expiry dates and you have to play them in a certain order, or you're tasked with making a very specific dish and you have to make it without communicating. And then it hit me. Squeak rhymes with peak. And the rest of the game fell into place. I've played a lot of a game called The Mind, and it's all about putting down numbered cards in order without communicating to one another. It's very simple, but watching someone put down a 31 when a 2 has only just gone down gives that all too familiar feeling of,
why are you the way that you are? I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
So I knew a game like this would be fun and tense and make you want to kill everyone that you're playing with. All the hallmarks of a great game. So how do you play Bubble and Peak? This game is for 4 players only. You have a deck of 52 cards split into 4 suits, like a regular poker deck. The suits are veg, carbs, meat, and seasoning. Take one of each suit and place these face down on the table. Shuffle the rest of the deck and deal 12 cards on top of the 4 cards, so you have a 16 card stack. Shuffle the stack and deal 4 cards to each player. Designate a first player and start round 1. During rounds, there is no communication between any of the players, so you can't talk or gesture or anything. The first player swaps 1 card with each player, going clockwise around the table. The second player then does the same, then the third, then the fourth. Once the fourth player has swapped their last card, each player places 1 card face down in the centre. The first player flips these over to reveal all of the cards. If there is 1 of each suit, you begin setting up round 2. Otherwise, you've lost the game. You set up each of the remaining rounds by flipping over the 4 cards in the centre of the table, then everyone discards their cards face down into a discard pile. The first player moves 1 player clockwise, and then the first player deals 12 cards on top of the 4 cards to create a 16 card stack. These are then shuffled and then dealt to all the players, and the next round begins. The next round plays the exact same way as the first round. When you start round 4, you'll have no cards remaining in the deck. So if you win this round, you win the game. And that is Bubble and Peak. So let's talk about why I'm doing this. I've been teetering with game development for a long time. Originally I wanted to make video games. I even built my own high-end PC. But making video games is really difficult. You've got coding, assets, sounds, alphas, betas. I played with the Unreal Engine for hours, and all I did was import a house and set it on fire. My PC became a super-powered machine whose only function was to play Minecraft. So without the interest or determination to pursue the complex and terrifying world of game design, the dream of being a video game developer had died. But a board game developer? All you need is a board and a box of crayons, and the rest is in your imagination. Of course, the audience is far, far smaller, but it's not about selling. It's about creating.
I create life! And I destroy it.
So I've been working on a board game for the past year and a half called Split the Arrow, and the process during a pandemic has been fairly challenging. So I needed a project to keep me occupied and keep my brain from turning into mush. Like many people, I've got so many concepts and ideas that, in my mind, have me praised, then ridiculed, and then eventually cancelled on Twitter. But I've never actually made something to fruition. So this challenge is also an excuse to create some snappy things and look at it like,
God.
Each game only takes about a week to create, so don't expect Citizen Kane the game, but I hope you enjoy the journey. Next month's theme is love. Maybe like a rom-com simulator like Fog of Love, but not that game. Goodbye, and see you next month.